Jack was sitting in his office, eyes focused on the thick stack of documents on his desk. The recent incidents had his mind constantly on edge. After the risky business trip and clear signs of being followed, Jack knew he had become the target of a silent conspiracy within the company. Suddenly, a gentle knock sounded at the door. He looked up to see his mother standing in the doorway, her eyes filled with concern. "Do you have a moment? I'd like to talk," she said softly. Jack nodded, inviting her to sit on the chair opposite him. She stepped in, holding a cup of warm water, which she gently placed on the table. "I've noticed you've been quiet lately, and you don't look well. Is something going on that you haven't told me?" she asked. He was silent for a few seconds, as if weighing his words carefully. Finally, Jack spoke slowly. "I believe someone in the company is trying to set me up, Mom. Since that last business trip, everything has felt off. I was taken to an isolated place, nothing like what was planned. The driver was strange, and the documents I received were forged. Someone wants me out of the game." His mother stiffened slightly, her hand tightening around the cup. "Is it Mr. Thursday? I've heard he's very manipulative." Jack nodded, his eyes steady. "It's not just him. It might be a whole group on the board. They see I'm not easy to control, so they want to clear the way for someone more obedient." She sat quietly for a moment, then asked gently, "What about me? Am I in danger too? I live alone. Please don't hide things from me." Jack looked at her, his gaze softening. "I've installed more cameras around the house. But please, don't go out alone at night. If anything unusual happens, call me right away." She nodded, though concern still clouded her eyes. A moment later, the doorbell rang. The housekeeper came up to inform them that a woman wanted to speak with Jack. When he stepped out, he was surprised to see Hung, the former secretary who had once been involved in the troubles between him and Tu Tien. "Hello, Jack. May I speak with you for a few minutes?" Hung asked, bowing slightly, her voice trembling. Jack frowned but nodded, motioning her toward the living room. Hung sat down, her hands twisting nervously, eyes avoiding his. "I know. I made a lot of mistakes before. I used to help Mr. Thursday monitor you and leak internal information. But after seeing you in danger during that business trip, I felt truly remorseful." Before Jack could respond, his phone rang. Seeing the unfamiliar number from the investigation office, he stood up. "I have to take this call. It's the investigators. Probably something new about the case. You can stay here and talk with my mother." With that, Jack quickly stepped outside. Hung stayed behind, and a moment later, Jack's mother walked in from the kitchen with a gentle smile. "Have you been waiting long? Would you like some tea? I just brewed a fresh pot." "Yes, thank you, ma'am," Hung replied politely. She took the cup and silently scanned the room. The family portraits on the wall, the arrangement of the furniture, and the soft expressions on Jack's mother's face. Nothing escaped her calculating eyes. Her expression slowly shifted. No longer remorseful, her gaze turned cold and analytical. Then, in a calm voice, she asked, "Do you stay here alone often, ma'am?" "Yes, I'm used to it. Jack works all day, but he usually comes home for dinner." Hung nodded slowly, but inside, she was smiling coldly. She had found Jack's weakness, his mother. If she couldn't attack Jack directly, targeting someone he loved would be the fastest way to break his control. Immediately afterward, Jack rushed to meet the investigator at a small cafe where they had agreed to meet in advance. The cafe was tucked away in a quiet alley, far from the city center, ensuring complete privacy. Jack entered with a serious expression, his eyes tense as he spotted a man in plain clothes sitting in the far corner. It was Officer Dung, the lead investigator in the case involving the forged documents and manipulation within Jack's company. "Good to see you, Officer Dung. Any new findings?" Jack asked in a low voice. The investigator nodded, his eyes stern. He opened a thin folder and slid it across the table to Jack. "We traced anonymous calls, unusual financial transfers, and most importantly, recent recordings. The one behind all the actions against you is none other than Secretary Hung." Jack froze in disbelief. Hung. But she just came to apologize. She claimed to have regretted her actions, even admitted helping Mr. Thursday in the past, and now she wants to turn over a new leaf. Officer Dung slowly shook his head. She was just released from prison 3 months ago after serving time for fraud and embezzlement, in a separate case not directly linked to your company. But while in prison, she maintained contact with some very dangerous individuals. We believe she never truly repented. On the contrary, she's been secretly planning revenge against you, the one she blames for losing everything. Jack clenched his fists, his forehead creasing in anger. "She was at my house. She stayed with my mother." Officer Dung's expression turned grave. "You need to get your mother to safety immediately. Our latest intelligence shows that Hung has been monitoring your family's daily routine. She could make a move at any moment." Jack stood up abruptly. His heart pounded harder than ever. It was no longer just his career at risk. Now his mother's life was in danger. He couldn't let that happen. He wouldn't let someone like Hung continue unchecked. Then Jack called his mother to ask if Secretary Hung was still there, but Jack's mother said that Hung had already left, so Jack felt more secure and told his mother to never open the door to welcome Secretary Hung again, and to close the door tightly to ensure safety. After ending the call, Jack immediately went to see Tu Tien. His car sped through the breezy streets, city lights reflecting off the windshield while his heart churned with emotion. He couldn't leave her alone when things were spiraling like this, and he couldn't keep such serious matters from her any longer. When he arrived, he saw Tu Tien watering the plants on the porch, looking peaceful and unaware. Jack walked quickly toward her and called softly, "Tien." Tu Tien looked up, surprised by his tense expression. "What's wrong, Jack?" He took her hand, led her inside, and gently closed the door behind them. His voice was low and serious. "I just came from the investigator's office. Something serious is going on with Secretary Hung." Hearing that name, Tu Tien froze. Jack explained everything. The files, the new evidence, the surveillance, and the truth that Hung was still actively dangerous. Tu Tien remained silent, her face gradually turning pale. "I had a bad feeling when she came to your house," she said softly. "But I never imagined she was the one behind everything." Jack held her hand tighter. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier, but I can't wait any longer. I'm going to take action. I'm going to bring everything to light. The truth the company is hiding, the people pulling the strings behind the scenes. Tu Tien looked at him, her eyes filled with worry. But that will be dangerous for you. And for your mother. Jack nodded, his gaze resolute. I know. But if we stay silent, they'll keep hurting others. I won't let you or my mother become targets. She wrapped her arms around him, feeling the steady pounding of his heart. In that moment, they both knew a new battle was about to begin. But this time, they wouldn't face it alone.